It began with the smell of damp wool. Faint at first, drifting in through the cracks of the old servants' quarters sometime after midnight. I wake in the darkness, the sound of the rain muffled by the stone walls, and know, without question, that it was Tuesday again. I'd been at Wetherby Hall for 6 years. I was the only maid left who slept in the east wing, where the ceiling beams bowed under centuries of damp. The others had moved closer to the kitchens, where it suited me, quiet, forgotten. Every Tuesday night, sometime between the toll of the 12th bell and the soft drip of water in the gutters, the smell would come. Wet wool, like a coat hung up too long after walking in a storm. And always, with it, the faint sound of boots on the floorboards. At first, I thought it was the master returning late. But the east wing hadn't been used for decades, not since the family sealed off the upper rooms after the fever. No one had any reason to be here but me. I told myself it was the building settling. I told myself it was the weather. And yet, every Tuesday, the steps came closer. My work was simple: polishing brass, tending fires, carrying water. The house was so large you could go days without seeing another soul. And so I began to notice things. A smear of mud on the carpet near the unused staircase. A streak of moisture along the wall in the hallway that led to the locked rooms. And once, a single dark thread, frayed and clinging to the edge of the skirting board. The cook laughed when I told her. "Drafts," she said, "and mice. You've got too much quiet in that wing, that's your trouble." But she didn't hear it, the slow tread of someone making their way along the east corridor. Always careful, never hurried. One Tuesday in November, the smell arrived earlier. I was still awake, mending a tear in my apron by candlelight. The air thickened, heavy with damp. I heard the boots, soft, deliberate. They stopped just beyond my door. I didn't move. The flame of the candle bent toward the door, as if drawn. And then, nothing. No retreating steps. No sound at all, except the faint ticking of the clock above the hearth. In the morning, there was a small patch of water beneath the latch. The boards there had always been dry before. I began to dread Tuesdays. My hands would shake when I lit the candle. I took to locking my door, though I knew the key was weak against anyone determined. Still, I never heard the steps try the handle. It was in late winter that I made my mistake. Snow had fallen for 3 days straight, and the hall was hushed in that strange muffled way only deep snow can bring. The others stayed by the kitchen fire, and I was alone when the smell came, stronger than ever. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I would open the door, and find the corridor empty. I unlatched it. The hallway stretched long and narrow, its shadows deep. The air was colder than my room, and the smell of damp wool was so strong I could almost taste it. There was no one there. I stepped out. My candlelight trembled along the walls, showing the pale bloom of damp spreading in places I had never noticed before. Halfway down the corridor, I saw it, a trail of wet footprints, leading toward the sealed rooms. The boards creaked beneath me as I followed. They were the prints of heavy boots, the kind a man wore in the stables. Yet they were wrong. The edges were blurred, as if the water that formed them was sinking into the wood too slowly. They stopped at the old door at the end of the hall. The door had been locked since long before I came to Wetherby. The wood was dark with age, the iron handle cold under my hand. I knew it wouldn't turn, but when I tried it opened. The room beyond was black. The air was thick with the smell of rain-soaked wool. I stepped inside, my candle casting its narrow glow over shapes I could barely see: a table, a chair, a coat hanging by the window. It was the coat that made me pause. It was still dripping. Somewhere beyond the window glass, I heard the slow tread of boots on the flagstones outside. They passed beneath the window and stopped. I should have looked. I should have turned and run. Instead, I stood, staring at the coat, until I realized it was moving. Not swaying, not shifting with a draft, but breathing. The candle went out. When I woke, I was in my own bed. My clothes were damp, my hands streaked with dust. The door to my room was locked from the inside. No one in the hall claimed to have seen me the night before. And yet, from that week on, the smell came every Tuesday, and stopped at my door without fail. Sometimes, the latch trembles. Sometimes, I hear the boots pause for longer than they should. And once, last week, when I pressed my ear to the door, I heard the sound of slow, careful breathing, matching my own.